Hi everyone, welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
And we're on day 2 of our TOEIC article for this month, which is all about a music festival and then a company making an announcement about it. So we found yesterday that Sarah and Henry have tickets for a music festival, but Sarah is worried that it will be cancelled because a typhoon is on its way.
Absolutely. So they're worried, of course, the typhoon will bring heavy wind, or strong winds and heavy rain, and that will have to lead to the cancellation of the festival. So Henry, her friend, suggests that she call a number on the back of the ticket. There's a hotline, basically an information service for people who have bought tickets for the concert, who have any questions. They should have someone at the other end of the line or someone at that phone number answering questions. So Sarah does that, and she talks to Carrie, who works for the concert company, the concert organizing or the concert promoters, and Sarah kind of explains her problem and explains what she's worried about and is looking for information.
Carrie says that many people are worried about this, of course, and the headline music festival company is putting information on the concert's Facebook and Instagram accounts because that's the easiest way to reach thousands of people with the info. So therefore, people should check there. Carrie also adds that it won't be the festival's decision. It will be down to what the Central Weather Bureau recommends. If they say, no, the typhoon's going to hit, it's too dangerous, the festival's off. If they say, no, it'll miss us, then the festival will go ahead, although it might be a little bit wet.
All right. So Sarah thanks Carrie, the customer service agent, for her useful information and help. And she tells Carrie that she'll keep an eye on the social media pages. So she'll find the Facebook page, find the web page, check maybe their Twitter or something, whatever, and keep her eye on that and get her information from there. So that's where we left it. Fingers crossed that the typhoon changes its mind and moves off in a different direction or something like that, because they certainly don't want their big festival plans spoiled by weather.
Well, let's read day 2, which is a social media announcement, and find out what's going on.
Reading.
Social media announcement. Festival postponed. To our fellow music lovers, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the postponement of the much-anticipated Headline Music Festival. This was no easy decision for us to arrive at. However, it is the health and safety of our valued customers that must be prioritized. As those living on the island will surely know, Taiwan is prone to the occasional storm. Some of these can cause considerable damage. Sadly, the sky has decided to send a large storm during the weekend of the festival. To avoid a possibly dangerous situation, it is in everybody's interest that the festival is postponed. We're just as upset as you might be. But don't give up hope. We are absolutely planning to reschedule the entire event. So much planning and excitement has gone into building this festival. We can't let that all be for nothing. We're not 100% sure when the festivities will take place, but we'll keep you informed through social media. To those of you who would like to get a refund, we completely understand. We'll be providing information on how to recover your money in our next post. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep rocking on.
All right, so the article for today is, well, it's actually not a conversation like we read yesterday. It's basically a web posting, something that there's up on the internet, maybe on their Facebook page, on the festival's website, and it looks like it's not really the news that Sarah and Henry were looking for. But the little post there, it begins, "To our fellow music lovers." This is where you might write to John or to whom it may concern or something. You're beginning the letter by addressing the people who you're expecting to read the letter. And in this case, it's to everyone who bought tickets. If you bought tickets for the music festival, they're kind of assuming you love music. So they say, to our fellow music lovers. We love music. You love music. And here's our message.
Yep, and they say it is with a heavy heart that we announce the postponement of the much-anticipated Headline Music Festival.
Boo.
Yeah, so it's off.
Yep.
So with a heavy heart, this is a nice little idiom we can use, and it basically means with sadness. It's used when you're delivering bad news. You do something with a heavy heart, it means you're sad about it. You don't want to have to do it, but you have to. Heavy, of course, it kind of means when you're sad, your heart does feel heavy in your chest. It feels like it's sinking down. So your heart doesn't actually weigh any different from what it usually weighs, but it's a good bit of sort of metaphorical language to say you're sad about what you're having to do. In this case, give some bad news.
Yeah, we often use that expression about giving bad news with a heavy heart. You can't really give good news with a light heart, but you could be described as lighthearted. If you're feeling lighthearted today, you're in a good mood. You know, maybe something good has happened to you recently, so that would sort of be the opposite feeling, but we don't use it in exactly an opposite phrase type of way. But there is a little bit of good news in this sentence. If you're one of the music fans and you want to try to squeeze a little bit of good news, possibly out of them canceling or ending the festival plans for this coming weekend, because it hasn't been canceled, it's been postponed. They call it a postponement of the anticipated music festival, not a cancellation of the music festival. A postponement is more of a delay. So they're kind of saying we're going to have it, but we just can't do it this weekend or soon, maybe next month, maybe at the end of the summer, some other time. If it was a cancellation, it's off. It's definitely not going to happen. Don't keep checking. Don't keep hoping. This is probably not going to happen at all this year. If it's a postponement, it's a delay. So they're pushing it back, and there is a chance, maybe just a small chance, but there is a chance that they're going to have it later on in the summer. So that might be a little bit of good news. For example, for this word postponement, we could say the price of your ticket will be refunded due to the postponement. You'll get your money back if you want. You'll get your money back if you want, because we can't have the festival this weekend.
Could be difficult. Band schedules are often busy. Whether the same lineup of bands will play at the festival, we don't know. Let's read on and find out. But before we do that, we say this is a much anticipated Headline Music Festival. The word anticipate as a verb means to look forward to something. You're excited about it. You're like, whoa, I really anticipate seeing this movie. I'm anticipating meeting up with my old college friends this weekend. I'm very excited about it. Here in the article, we're using it in its PP form as an adjective to describe that an event, a lot of people were looking forward to it. A lot of people were excited about it.
All right, so let's look at the next sentence. It says, this was no easy decision for us to arrive at. Again, this is the festival organizers giving the bad news to the fans. They're saying it wasn't easy for us to make this decision to postpone the festival. It was something they thought about for a very long time because they knew it would be bad news to hundreds or thousands of people.
But, as they say, however, it is the health and safety of our valued customers that must be prioritized. If you prioritize something, you put it first as a consideration. You make it the most important or one of the most important things. Like if you've got 6 pieces of homework to do, you go, well, what's the most important? What's due first? I will prioritize that one. I'll make it the most important. I'll do it first. So basically they're saying, yeah, everyone wants to see music. Yeah, the band wants to play. But the most important thing is health and safety of the people who come to the show. So that's our first consideration. That's what we'll think about first, and we'll make that the most important thing, which is why we're cancelling or postponing the festival.
And they kind of explain it, and, in a way that they hope people will kind of understand. They say, as those living on the island will surely know, Taiwan is prone to the occasional storm. They're saying, well, it's always a risk. Putting on a festival in Taiwan in the summer is a risk. There is a small danger there because Taiwan is prone to the occasional storm. If you're prone to something, this basically means it's more likely than not that you'll be affected by something. It has happened before. It is one of those things you have to think about or consider. You shouldn't be too surprised by it. And often, since you're vulnerable to something, you're kind of saying, it's a weakness that I sometimes have, or it's a problem that sometimes pops up. It's not a super strange thing, all right? So, if you're the kind of person who gets sick a lot in the winter, you might say, oh, I'm prone to catching colds in the winter time. Maybe in the summer, you never have a cold, but in the winter, something strange about your body is that you do often catch colds in the winter. So you'd say, I'm prone to them. Doesn't mean all the time, but it means maybe a little bit more than other people. And Taiwan is, it does have a few more typhoons and big summer storms than other places.
That's right. The article says that Taiwan is prone to the occasional storm. Occasional means sometimes. It's infrequent. I think the article is using occasional storm to mean we get typhoons every summer. It's using it in a fairly creative way rather than 100% accurate because really most countries get the occasional storm. Taiwan probably gets more than its fair share of storms. A lot of countries don't get typhoons at all. Taiwan does.
Yep, absolutely.
But the word occasional means it happens sometimes. It happens not regularly, but it just quite often happens. It's not a rare or strange or unusual event. For example, we could say Jocelyn is usually very healthy, but she does get the occasional cold. So, she gets a cold sometimes, as we all do, but she's not getting them all the time. Nor is she never getting them. It just happens sometimes.
And they explain the danger of these occasional storms. Some of these can cause considerable damage. Absolutely, typhoons, even if they are occasional, they can be bad and they can cause damage, a lot of damage in some cases. And that's how we're using the adjective considerable here. A lot of, more than a little, more than you can really ignore. So that's also part of the explanation here. We can't just assume it'll be a small typhoon, it'll just be a little bit of wind and rain. No, it could cause considerable damage, a lot of damage, and of course that would be dangerous to people as well. For example, the typhoon caused considerable damage to the small fishing village. Oh dear, so a lot of houses might have been wrecked, maybe boats were pushed up onto the rocks. It wasn't something that you're going to fix just in one morning of sweeping and cleaning up. It was probably a lot of damage, a lot of money will have to be spent to fix it, and it will take a lot of time to get the village back to normal.
Yep, and so the article goes on, this statement on social media, and says, sadly, the sky has decided to send a large storm during the weekend of the festival. Of course, this isn't the sky really deciding it. It's just a bit of clever phrasing to say, yep, a storm is coming. The sky doesn't make an actual decision, nor does the ocean where the water comes from. Basically, this sentence just means, yes, it's unfortunate, we're getting a typhoon this weekend.
And then they say to avoid a possibly dangerous situation, it is in everybody's interest that the festival is postponed. Okay, so this is basically the end of their explaining their thinking and their decision-making on why they've decided to postpone the festival, to avoid a possibly dangerous situation, to avoid anyone getting hurt or anything bad, really, really bad from happening. It's in everybody's interest that the festival is postponed. If things are in somebody's interest or in somebody's best interest, basically you're saying that's the best decision for everybody. That's the most wise, the most helpful, in this case, the safest decision for everyone. Yes, it will inconvenience people. Yes, people might lose money because they've, booked a hotel nearby or something like that. But if we look at what's best for the most people, this is what we should do. This is in everybody's or in most people's best interest.
Now, the Post then tries to make people feel better and says, we're just as upset as you might be. They could have said, as you must be. Of course, they are bound to be upset that this festival has been cancelled. The promoters are upset because, they lose money. They kind of don't really have a good event that they can tell people about. The fans are disappointed. They're upset. The bands are upset because they wanted to play and that kind of thing. Because the word upset means unhappy. You're sad. You're maybe a little bit angry or disappointed. Something has happened and you didn't want that to happen, and now you feel pretty bad about it and you wish it hadn't gone that way. For example, we could say Fred was upset when his classmate broke his cell phone. He was a bit sad, probably pretty angry. He was really not in a good mood because his cell phone got broken by his dumb friend.
I guess I can understand that. All right. But this post is kind of a good news, bad news situation, or at least the way they write it. They're trying to present it as a good news, bad news situation. That was the bad news, right? It's canceled because of the typhoon. We're really sad, but it was the wise and safe thing to do. But, and here's the good news, hopefully, but don't give up hope, they're kind of saying, and this leads us into what's supposed to lift our spirits and go, oh, well, okay, it could be worse.
Yep, because...
What's the good news?
Well, the good news is we are absolutely planning to reschedule the entire event.
Woohoo!
If you remember the word schedule from yesterday, this is reschedule, so schedule it again. We've already made the plans, but we're going to change those plans to come up with a new set of events, a new plan, a new schedule. We also use the adverb absolutely there. Absolutely means definitely, 100%. We're definitely going to do this. We're not going to think about doing it. We're not going to talk about doing it. No, we are absolutely 100% for sure going to reschedule this event. Here's another example of how we can use that adverb. I am absolutely certain that man in the sunglasses is Chris Hemsworth. Because he's huge.
Well, there you go.
Giant blonde guy.
I see, and he has a large hammer. Oh, okay. So here you go. They're going to have it again. They're going to reschedule it, and here's why. They're kind of explaining it to make us really believe in them. So much planning and excitement has gone into building this festival. All right. So even as the organizers, as the people putting it on, they're disappointed, and they're saying, we worked really hard. We planned it. We were excited and looking forward to it just as much as you. So, we want to keep going with it.
They also say we can't let that all be for nothing. So here the pronoun that means the planning and excitement we mentioned in the previous sentence, and they're saying we can't let that, the planning, all be for nothing. If something is for nothing, then it has had no end result. There's been no final product in the end. Maybe you do a lot of hard work on a group project, but then the class just decides, sorry, we're not going to do this, we're not going to finish it, we don't have time, we've got to move into exam testing, so all the hard work is for nothing. I'm sure a lot of companies plan to do things or have things happen, and then the COVID-19 thing cancelled everything. So a lot of people's hard work and efforts were for nothing because they suddenly had to cancel all their plans and stay at home a lot.
Right.
So what they're saying this festival is we did a lot of hard work, so we've got to have something to show for it. We can't just go, oh well, that's done, forget about it. We're going to use it. We're going to have an end result.
I like their never say die, never give up attitude. But they do sort of give you a warning. We're not 100% sure when the festivities will take place, but we'll keep you informed through social media. So we don't have a future date yet. We're not saying, okay, we're moving it from this weekend to next weekend or to a month from now. They're not 100% sure. They're looking at the calendars. They're trying to plan things when the festivities, when the event, basically, this fun event will take place, and they'll let you know through social media. So, in other words, keep checking the website, keep checking your Twitter, your Facebook. We'll give you the news when we have news to give you about future festivities. And yes, festivities are basically fun events. It's always plural. You never have, I have a festivity this weekend. No, you're talking about festivities in a very general sense. It could be a birthday party. Those are festivities to celebrate the day you were born, or it could be a big festival, or it could be something kind of in the middle, like a big wedding or, something like that. Festivities are basically, fun social gatherings when people get together to have a party, celebrate something, and just generally have a good time.
Now, in that sentence, we also saw the phrasal verb take place. When something takes place, this means it occurs, it happens. And we often use the phrase take place to give details of when and where something did happen, will happen, is happening, and so on. So we don't know when the festivities will take place, means we don't know when they will happen.
And To those of you who would like to get a refund, we completely understand. So the first part of that message there about future events was for the people who still want to go, who still want to, see the festival even if it is a month from now. But maybe there are people who can't. Maybe they have plans a month from now, or this was the only weekend they were available to go to the festival, so they can't go. They would like to get a refund, of course. And a refund is basically getting your money back for something that you paid for. Maybe you bought something and got it home and found out it didn't work. Or maybe you bought a shirt and found out it didn't fit you when you got it home. You don't want to be stuck with something you can't use or pay for something like a festival that you can't go to. So you get your refund. You get your money back because, you don't want to make the deal in the end.
Yeah, and there's a bit more on that in the next sentence, which is we'll be providing information on how to recover your money in our next post. So in a day, maybe later today or in a couple of days, we'll put a post maybe with a website link or a phone number, and this is how you recover your money if you decide you need to get the money back, you want a refund for your ticket. Because the verb recover means to get back. You've lost something, maybe you've given something to someone, and now you're getting it back. You've found it again. You have recovered it. If you're sick and then you get better, we say you have recovered your health. Here's another example. If you call the police, maybe they can help you recover the wallet that you lost. In other words, maybe they'll help you find it and get it back.
So in either case, if you're planning on coming in the future or if you do want to get a refund and recover your money, keep your eyes peeled. The website tells you, keep your eyes peeled, pay attention, and we should definitely keep our eyes peeled on our pocket phrase go because it's all about keeping our eyes peeled. But don't worry, not really.
Pocket phrase go!
最近花妈住的社区，听说有那个奇怪的人混进来，走来走去，不知道这些人是想要干嘛？花妈怕怕呢。We should keep our eyes peeled for strangers。不知道他是想偷东西还是走错路。总之大家要多留心，多注意啦。Keep one's eyes peeled。Peel 呢这个动词就是剥皮，所以呢把你的眼皮扒开，就是呢眼睛要张大，要看清楚啦。这个片语呢就是要呼吁或者是建议呢，要请大家多留心，多注意。比方说呢有可疑的陌生人，大家要多注意。或是呢我们开车在路上快要没油了 ，Please keep our eyes peeled for gas stations。大家呢帮忙看看，注意哪里有加油站哦。那这个片语呢，我们也可以说 keep one's eyes opened， 保持呢你的眼睛张开，一样呢是要建议大家要多留心，多注意咯。
So yes, thankfully, keeping your eyes peeled is not like peeling a banana. That would be really gross and painful, and don't try that. It just basically means keep paying attention, keep on the lookout, keep, checking the website in this case, because we will have news and information for you, but we just can't tell you when, so please keep paying attention.
And the post finishes by saying, keep rocking on. Kind of a sort of a warm message that everybody should stay hopeful, that don't worry, just because this is cancelled or postponed, everything's not over. Keep rocking, keep listening to rock music, keep enjoying yourself to our music. Come to our festival when we reschedule it. And that is the end of the post and the end of today's article. So let's go to our For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the question is, what is the worst storm you've ever experienced? Now, this could be a typhoon, it could be a snowstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a kind of storm.
Sure.
And the follow-up, were you scared of the storm or did you find it exciting?
I don't know if I've ever been scared of a storm, but I guess I haven't really been in a big one.
No.
Earthquakes are scary, definitely.
Yes.
I was here, though, for that one in 2001,
Wow.
I believe. Typhoon Nari, which really hit Taipei hard. And I just remember it very well because the MRT had just opened a few years before, and it was flooded. It was all the way up and down Zhengshao Road. Many of the stations were flooded. I believe still in Ximen Station, there's a marker down on the second floor, the second basement floor, and it shows you where the water came to, and you imagine that was all the tracks and the platform all the way up to maybe the first basement level. And I do also remember a lot of these underground garages and car parks. You saw cars getting pulled out with, water pouring out of the windows and stuff. So, it was pretty much your average typhoon, I think, with wind, but the rain was crazy, and it really hit Taipei really hard.
Yeah, I was here for Typhoon Morakot, which was, 2008, 2009, something like that?
I think so. That was bad down south.
That was about,
right?
yeah, and it kind of made me think, because at that time I was new in Taiwan, and typhoons were kind of new and exciting, and in Taipei you were pretty safe. It just meant you got some days off work, and it was loud outside.
Yep.
But then seeing the reports from elsewhere in the country after made me kind of think, well, I shouldn't just treat typhoons as like a bit of fun, because there are communities up in the mountains or elsewhere that get absolutely devastated by these things. So I shouldn't just kind of make fun of typhoons and treat them lightly just because I happen to be in a big safe city.
That's right, big landslides.
So I've never been scared. I used to get more excited. Now I kind of think them, okay, they're just things you live through, and I hope that the people in worse places or more sort of threatened places that are prone to use a phrase from today, getting worse damage from typhoon, they're okay.
Absolutely. So keep your eyes peeled on that weather forecast as we head into the summer and fall months here in Taiwan.
Yep, and that's the end of our article for today. Thanks for listening. For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Mike.
Talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Social media announcement. Festival postponed. To our fellow music lovers, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the postponement of the much-anticipated Headline Music Festival. This was no easy decision for us to arrive at. However, it is the health and safety of our valued customers that must be prioritized. As those living on the island will surely know, Taiwan is prone to the occasional storm. Some of these can cause considerable damage. Sadly, the sky has decided to send a large storm during the weekend of the festival. To avoid a possibly dangerous situation, it is in everybody's interest that the festival is postponed. We're just as upset as you might be. But don't give up hope. We are absolutely planning to reschedule the entire event. So much planning and excitement has gone into building this festival. We can't let that all be for nothing. We're not 100% sure when the festivities will take place, but we'll keep you informed through social media. To those of you who would like to get a refund, we completely understand. We'll be providing information on how to recover your money in our next post. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep rocking on.
Vocabulary Review.
Postponement. The rock concert was moved to a later day, and ticket holders were curious about the reasons for the postponement. Occasional. Mary and Hannah have the occasional fight, but most of the time they get along very well. Considerable. Seb missed his plane and paid a considerable amount of money to get a later flight that day. Upset. Glenn's mom was upset when he forgot to call and wish her a happy birthday. Absolutely. My instructions were absolutely clear, so I don't know why you didn't understand them. Recover. Colin left his bag on the train, but he recovered it when he went back to the train station.
智慧小补帖
Anticipate. Prioritize. Be prone to. Festivity. Refund.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000，02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net，www.english4u.net。